Well, welcome. Good morning and welcome to a beautiful day at the National Ranching Heritage Center. My name is Jim Brett Campbell, and I have the distinct honor of serving as the Executive Director of the National Ranching Heritage Center and its supporting organization, the Ranching Heritage Association. Welcome to the National Ranching Heritage Center, the only center in the world uniquely dedicated to telling the story of ranching and preserving and promoting our ranching heritage. It has captured the hearts, minds, and imaginations of people from around the world. The National Ranching Heritage Center at Texas Tech University features 55 historic ranching structures that have been moved and restored to the 19-acre Proctor Historical Park and have more than 60,000 guests annually enjoy 1.5 miles of hard surface walkways to learn about our pioneering ranching past through events like Candlelight at the Ranch, Ranch Day, Summer Stampede, and the presentation of the National Golden Spur Award, which we'll do tomorrow night at the Overton Hotel. In fact, our recipient, Clark Willingham and Hitch Ranches, is here, so let's give them a round of applause. Thank you, Clark and Jane, for being here. The National Ranching Heritage Center is supported by the Ranching Heritage Association, a 501c3 membership organization that boasts almost 1,500 members in 38 states. One of the things that I find remarkable is that many of those members have never visited this facility. They support it because they believe in the mission of preserving ranching heritage. And I know you all do too. One of the profound changes we have seen since the early days of the Ranching Heritage Center is that back in the 1960s, most Americans had a tie, or at least a frame of reference, to production agriculture. Now, the vast majority of Americans have little direct knowledge about where their food comes from, including beef. More and more here at the center, we find ourselves answering the question, so just exactly what is a ranch, and what does that mean for me? So we're breaking ground today on the way that we answer those questions. The Cash Family Ranch Life Learning Center is a unique opportunity to partner with John Erickson's worldwide brand of Hank the Cowdog. This partnership will provide children with an engaging way to learn and reinforce their skills in science, social studies, literacy, technology, and more. School groups will be able to visit the Cash Family Ranch Life Learning Center for hands-on learning that encompasses every learning style: visual, audio, tactile, and more. At the same time, adults will be able to learn at a higher level the impacts of ranching on their everyday lives and be equipped to make decisions about our futures. But it is not just revolutionary for the National Ranching Heritage Center and for education. It is an investment that will bring visitors from around the world to Texas Tech University, Lubbock, and the South Plains. Of course, we could not get here alone. I would like to recognize several special guests who have helped us along the way. First, I would like to recognize Texas Tech University President, Dr. Lawrence Skuvenek. Lawrence, thank you for being here. I would like to recognize Mark Griffin, who serves on the Texas Tech University System Board of Regents. Regent Griffin, thank you for being here. I want to recognize the Ranching Heritage Association President, Bedford Jones. Bedford. But of those 1,500 members, many of them are represented here today. If you are serving on the Board of Directors for the Ranching Heritage Association, would you please stand? All of you. Let's give them a round of applause. These folks are a great assistance to us. Texas Tech University System Vice Chancellor for Institutional Advancement and CEO of the Texas Tech Foundation, Patrick Kramer, and more importantly, his wife, Jennifer. Jennifer, thank you for being here. Texas Tech University System Vice Chancellor, Facilities, Planning, and Construction, Billy Breedlove. Billy, thank you. Texas Tech University Interim Vice Provost for Outreach and Engagement, and my boss, Dr. Melanie Hart. Dr. Hart, thank you for being here. Chair of the Ranching Heritage Association Ranch Life Committee, Betsy Bella, and her husband, Jody. Jody and Betsy, thank you. Lubbock City Councilwoman Christy Martinez Garcia, representatives, or let's give her a round of applause. And we have several representatives from Visit Lubbock, so thank you all for being here. I also want to recognize Clay and Ashley Cash for naming the Cash Family Ranch Life Learning Center and for all you do. Clay and Ashley, thank you. There's also a really special group of folks that I want to recognize. I would like for all of the staff of the National Ranching Heritage Center, would you please stand or raise your hand? I know probably some of them are out working, gathering stuff. Guys, y'all stand, and let's give them a round of applause. They're putting in about 54 hours of constant work between today and tomorrow. It's just like being on a ranch, and we appreciate that all that you do. One special person that I hate that is not able to be here today is Julie Hodges. Julie serves as the Helen DeWitt Jones Endowed Director of Education, and we would not be here today without Julie. Unfortunately, she's actually at a major social studies conference, actually spreading the word about ranch life to educators from all across the country. But we are forever grateful for her tireless dedication to making this day happen. Please turn your attention to monitors for a word from Julie.
So I began my position as the Helen DeWitt Jones Director of Education at the National Ranching Heritage Center in 2014. Immediately, I was so excited by all of the opportunities that this place represents. We've got a beautiful facility. We have historical structures that are full of stories of people who found a way to make a living off the land, and we're still a part of a major industry that impacts our everyday lives. So with all these opportunities swirling around in my head, I decided to start with what I knew, and maybe took advantage of my position to call up my childhood hero, John R. Erickson, author of Hank the Cowdog. John and I spoke on the phone, and it turns out he'd been thinking about the National Ranching Heritage Center too, and was happy to connect. So we arranged for he and his wife, Chris, to come and do a concert on our patio on a Tuesday afternoon at 4 o'clock, just to see how things would get started. We were both thrilled and surprised when 1,000 people showed up to hear the concert and to have their book signed. We kind of looked at each other and said, this collaboration has potential. It was shortly after that concert that John told me he had a set of unpublished Hank manuscripts that I ought to take a look at. They were different than the regular Hank books in that Hank was explaining the ranching industry and life on a ranch. So as soon as those documents arrived in my email, I pulled it up, printed them out, and read them immediately. And I was amazed. Hank literally had explained anything I would ever want to teach the public about the ranching industry, but in a much more fun way than Julie Hodges could ever do it. So I called John Erickson up and said, I think I know what to do with these books. We immediately got to work concocting a plan that would help us figure out how to get books in as many hands as possible and really connect with school teachers and educators. The books were perfect for tying into curriculum already taught in schools through science, social studies, and literacy. So while John and I raised funds to get the first 5,000 copies of each book published, I worked with science and social studies specialists to create activities that could be used in the classroom, and we began holding workshops for educators. Many generous donors and foundations helped to fund each book, and in 2021, all 5 books were finally published and out into the world. To date, we've given away 25,000 ranch life learning books. We've taught over 1,000 teachers and workshops on how to use them, and we've sold almost 100,000 copies of the Ranch Life Learning series. We were so excited when all these came out, but we weren't the only ones. My phone started ringing off the hook with questions and pleas for more. John Erickson started thinking and wrote 2 more books to go in the series, making it a series of 5 books. And we got the attention of other organizations interested in ag education, the Texas Farm Bureau and National Ag in the Classroom. Soon I was presenting at state, local, and national conferences about ranch life and gathering more and more interest and excitement. The teachers were having fun at workshops, the kids enjoyed the activities, and folks in the industry saw it as a great resource to get ag literacy in the classroom focused on ranching for kiddos. And I really think we have created one of the top ag education resources for elementary students in the country. So all of this excitement got us thinking, we can do more with this. We need to bring all 5 of the books in the series to life. So we started concocting a plan for the Ranch Life Learning Center. I will admit that the first drawing was something that I did on the back of a sheet of paper. It was not beautiful, but it was like an 800 square foot gallery space where I crammed in as much as I possibly could. And I shared it with a couple of designers, and they said, oh, that's nice, let's think a little bigger. So lucky for me, a lot of folks jumped in with support. Our Ranching Heritage Association Ranch Life Committee and our executive committee came up with really wonderful ideas. Donors started getting excited and contributing to the project, as well as the university community helping to dive a little deeper into some subjects. So before I knew it, the project grew into an $8.2 million facility that is 3,800 square feet of indoor space and half an acre of outdoor space. All of these amazing ideas have come together in a facility that will teach kids, or really anyone who has the question, what is a ranch? How everything on the ranch works. The center will include exhibits that are both high-tech and low-tech that are designed to engage visitors as they learn about the ranching industry. It will consist of several areas, so let's walk through what's going to be inside, and then we'll walk through what's going to be outside. Visitors will start by visiting an orientation theater. Well, John Erickson himself will talk through why it's important to learn about ranching and why he's dedicated so much of his time to educate children about the ranching industry. From there, children will go to security headquarters, and that's where Hank fans can geek out, learn everything they ever wanted to know about Mr. Erickson and the illustrators that have helped bring the series to life, as well as explore artifacts from the Hank the Cowdog book series, read Hank books, and even receive a mission to solve while they're visiting the Ranch Life Learning Center. From there, they'll go into prairie ecology, and prairie ecology is such a vital part of the ranching industry. Grass farmers are really what ranchers are. So they turn grass into beef, and the prairie ecology room will explain how ranch management is so important in maintaining the ecosystems that's so vital to all of us, the prairie. And they'll learn about the role that ranchers play in being sustainable practitioners of a very important industry that feeds millions of people every year. From there, they'll go into the ranching exhibit, and this is by far the largest indoor space. Students can learn about the economics behind ranching and all of the decisions that ranch managers make every day. They'll learn about the partnership between a cowboy and his horse and the traits of a perfect ranch horse. They will also be able to stand in a 270-degree theater to feel what it's like to be on the back of a horse and do roping jobs and other tasks that cowboys do every day. In the outdoor portion of the Ranch Life Learning Center, students will see the Hank the Cowdog's fictional ranch come to life. In fact, our architect started with a drawing, an illustration of Hank's ranch. So all of the buildings that you see in that drawing are included here. Ranch headquarters, which is home to Loper and Sally Mae of the Hank the Cowdog book series, is the place for little children. They can explore Sally Mae's kitchen and garden, as well as play with ranch toys. In the machine shed and horse barn, visitors will have a chance to visit with a virtual cowboy and his horse, and also learn about all the tools of the cowboy trade. The cake house will feature an exhibit on livestock nutrition, and then our horse pasture will feature native plants and wildlife habitat. The far west wall of the outdoor area will be the Cap Rock, and that features several exhibits that include wildlife, archaeology, watershed, and water resources, all things vital to ranching. So it'll be a really fun, hands-on place, and there's going to be so much information that we hope visitors will come in and again to be able to soak it all in. I really can't believe that this sad little sketch that I did many years ago has become a reality, and we are breaking ground on the Cash Family Ranch Life Learning Center. So many people have come together to make this dream happen. We've built on it bit by bit since 2014, and I just want to thank all of you for making this dream a reality. But we're not done yet. Here in about 8 months, you need to come back and visit the Ranch Life Learning Center. Tell your friends about it, and if you haven't read the Ranch Life Learning series of books, pick up your copies today and take a look. They're really great, and if you love the ranching industry, you'll love Hank the Cowdog. Thank you all for being here today.
Julie has worked tirelessly to build all of the content from taking John's vision in the Ranch Life books to building activity guides, building all of the content that will be in the Cash Family Ranch Life Learning Center. So let's give her one more round of applause. If we get loud enough, I think she can hear us in Denton. I think I was in 3rd grade the first time I met John R. Erickson. This lanky rancher came to West Central Elementary School in Hereford, Texas, and read us stories from his book, Hank the Cowdog. In fact, I really meant to bring my autographed copy that I still have. But I've been a fan ever since. And to tell you the truth, I'm still a little awestruck that I get to call John Erickson my friend. John's dog, that started out as a short story in the Cattleman magazine, now has more than 10 million books in print. Million. There's 76 books in the series, and John has gone from self-publishing in his garage to being approached by Disney and Nickelodeon about doing animated projects. Shoot, John has even made the cover of Texas Monthly, and he realized his lifelong dream of being in Vogue magazine, mostly for his fashion sense. But in all seriousness, it was no small thing. Just so you know, John turned Disney and Nickelodeon down because he couldn't trust them with Hank. And so when we called and asked if we could borrow Hank for Ranch Life and the Ranch Life Learning Center, John said yes. John and Chris, thank you for partnering with us. And John, I'd love to invite you up to say a few words. Let's give John R. Erickson and his wife, Chris, a round of applause.
Thank you, JV. Oh, shucks. About a month ago, a lady who works for us sent me a link to a story in the Tehran Times. Tehran is a little bit east of Texas. It's the capital city of Iran. And the story was that a bookstore in downtown Tehran was introducing a new Hank book in Farsi, The Case of the Fiddle-Playing Fox. And that was memorable for several reasons. One is they don't have permission to publish Hank books in Farsi. But that doesn't bother them. They do it all the time. And I decided to take it as a compliment. And I know those people have even worse government problems than we do. So they need some laughs, and I'm glad that they've borrowed the rights to. We don't even know how many Hank books there are in Farsi, but it's 20 or 25. There used to be 5 different Hank the Cowdog Facebook pages in Farsi, but the mullahs took care of that about 5 years ago. They shut down Facebook. So I don't really get to hear from fans in Iran. I think there are a lot of them. I've gotten several letters or emails from Iranians who immigrated to other countries. One is a professor at Columbia University School of Medicine who learned English on a bus on our way to Tehran University listening to Hank the Cowdog on old cassette tapes. Another guy who lived in Seattle wrote and said that he learned English listening to Hank tapes. And when he got to Seattle, everybody wondered where he got his Texas accent. Well, it's I take it as a great compliment. You know, the Fiddle-Playing Fox was the 12th book in the series, and we got 78, Jim Brett, by the way, not 76. You need to fix up your library. The Fiddle-Playing Fox is about a fox who makes his living stealing eggs out of chicken houses. But he doesn't do it the usual way. He plays a fiddle, and he goes up to the chicken house door and taps on it with his bow, and he starts playing Bob Wills music. And the chickens love that western swing, and they get up off their nests, invite the fox to come in, and they dance. And when they're off their nests, Frankie helps himself to their eggs, and everybody's happy. So it was kind of a funny idea. The fox character was a cowboy prank I played on one of my good friends, Frankie McWhorter. And Frankie was a cowboy in Lipscomb County and also a very accomplished horsebreaker. And I wrote 2 books about Frankie. I used to go help him work cattle, and we played music together, and I knew I had to write a book about Frankie. But the Fiddle-Playing Fox was my prank on Frankie that he could never improve on. Naming a fox, a fiddle-playing fox, Frankie McWhorter, and he makes his living stealing eggs out of chicken houses. Well, Frankie used to play with Bob Wills' band, and later he had his own group called the Over the Hill Gang, and they've played here, I think, several times. But that fox on the tapes, I imitated Frankie's way of talking. He had a very distinct, slow way of talking. He'd say, "Son, when you show up on a crew, it's like 3 good men just quit." So that's the character that people in Iran are reading about. And I think that's pretty nice, because if you listen to the news, you get the impression that everybody in Iran hates the United States. And apparently that's not true. So it makes me proud that they're stealing the rights to my books and reading them in a country that hates the United States. And my great-great-grandparents were among the first Quakers ever to settle above the Caprock. They settled in the town of Estacada, which is about 30 miles east of here in Crosby County. And you know, I wrote for 15 years before I discovered Hank, and I was sending manuscripts off to New York City and getting them back by the hundreds, and it was very discouraging. And one of the things they said was, your stories are too regional. So to them today, I would like to say,
And my apologies, Mr. Erickson, for getting the number wrong. I'm just surprised at your age that you're able to keep going. We have a special relationship. Used to be. It is now my honor to recognize and introduce Texas Tech University President Lawrence Skuvanek. Having grown up on a dairy farm in Oklahoma, President Skuvanek shares the values, integrity, and humility found in cow country. Since becoming president of the Texas Tech University in 2016, Lawrence Skuvanek has overseen unprecedented enrollment growth, record investments in research and fundraising, and the designation as both a Carnegie Tier 1 research institution and Hispanic serving institution. Under his guidance, Texas Tech has initiated more than $900 million in new facilities, opened a branch campus in San Jose, Costa Rica, and built the Texas Tech University School of Veterinary Medicine in Amarillo. President Skuvanek is proud to serve Texas Tech in this special year. If you don't know, Texas Tech is celebrating its centennial in 2023, and the university continues to expand its impact as a world-class, internationally recognized institution. More importantly for today, he is a friend and supporter of the National Ranching Heritage Center. Ladies and gentlemen, President Lawrence Skuvanek.
Thank you, Jim Brett. I want you to do me a favor. The next time you introduce me, you say Lawrence Skuvanek. Because if there's a group that doesn't want to sit here and listen to all that, it's this group. They don't take kindly to that kind of windbag. Thank you all for being here today. What a beautiful day and such a proud moment. John and Chris, what an honor and thrill to be here with you. As you were talking, I thought, you remind me of somebody I used to listen to when I'd go down to the co-op and we'd be sitting on a bag of grain feed drinking coffee. Because if there's anything common to ranching and agriculture, is that these people have a great sense of humor. And they have to live in that life. And how fortunate we are at Texas Tech and the National Ranching Heritage Center to have two of the best voices for the ranching industry and for agriculture, in John and Red Stiegel. And that's really a tribute to what the National Ranching Heritage Center has brought to Texas Tech. So Jim Brett, we couldn't have a better person leading this center than you. When you get to introductions down, you'll be almost perfect. Tech is an institution that was built on ambition and hard work. And that is so core to the ranching and agricultural industry and to the Cash family. And so it's so fitting and proper that this should be happening here. Jim Brett mentioned this, and Julie did as well. People today don't really understand ranching or the farming industry. I see it in my own family. And if you can educate a faculty member at the University of Columbia, teach them English, just think what you're going to teach the young people when they have greater exposure to these books. And I think all of you who are in the ranching and agricultural industry, no matter how old you are, you identify with that message. It's deeper than just a story. It conveys a spirit of what it is to be in that industry. And it's one that we need to educate our students about today. So this center will be critical to that effort. And this center and this event and the National Family Ranch Life Learning Center would not be possible without the support of Kay and Ashley. I mentioned this when we had the groundbreaking this summer. Clay does not relish the spotlight. And it seems that I'm always writing a thank you letter for a gift that they've given to this university. I just did this week. And he said, quit cluttering my desk up, some version of that, with those damn letters. Well, so I always try to think of something clever. And they probably, but I want you to know, and I've said it before, no matter how many times we say thank you, we mean it. To your family, to Kay and Don, I mean, you carry on the legacy they started, and it's such a proud legacy, and it's so important to this university. So to all of you, thank you so much for being here today. John, it's a real thrill to have you here. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Lawrence. Bedford Jones is a multi-generation rancher from Spur, Texas. Bedford is also a multi-generation supporter of the National Ranching Heritage Center, having followed his parents in leadership for the Ranching Heritage Association, and Bedford has served as president of the RHA for the past 2 years. Bedford and his family ranch in Crosby, Gaines, and Borden counties. Bedford graduated from Texas A&M University, a little south of here, with a bachelor's degree in agricultural economics in 1996 and a master's in agricultural leadership. He and his wife, Michelle, live in Spur with their 4 children. Before Bedford makes his way up here, though, I think there's something important that I want our Texas Tech friends and friends from campus to understand. Bedford is an Aggie, and a pretty good one. Mark Kirkpatrick, who is our incoming president of the Ranching Heritage Association, also graduated from Texas A&M. Frank McClelland, who is our incoming vice president of the Ranching Heritage Association, went to Texas A&M Kingsville and then the TCU School of Ranch Management. Our incoming secretary-treasurer is John Welch. John is also a graduate of Texas A&M University, although, do they claim you, John? But I just point that out because we are housed on the Texas Tech University campus, and we are proud to carry the Texas Tech University banner. But the National Ranching Heritage Center is a labor of love for the ranching industry from coast to coast. And I think that's important for all of our friends to understand, is that this is not just Texas Tech's Ranching Heritage Center. It is ranching's National Ranching Heritage Center. And with that, I'd ask Bedford to come up and give you his welcome.
President Skuvanek, I disagree with you. I like that kind of introduction. I didn't know you could put that much lipstick on a pig. Thank you, Jim Brett. Good morning, everyone. My name is Bedford Jones, and I have the privilege of serving as president of the Ranching Heritage Association. And on behalf of the almost 1,500 members of the Ranching Heritage Association, I want to thank you for joining us on this special day here at the Ranching Heritage Center. From its beginning, the National Ranching Heritage Center has been a special partnership between the state of Texas, Texas Tech University, and the ranching community. Ranchers, large and small, across this country are members of the Ranching Heritage Association because they believe in the mission of this place and they believe in telling our story. I get the privilege of following in my parents' footsteps and helping build the National Ranching Heritage Center. And when they were first involved, the focus was on the heritage and history of ranching, which is still critical today, but I think we also have the obligation to share that ranching is still here. My family is still ranching, we're still here, and I hope to leave a legacy and a path for my children to carry on. The Cash Family Ranch Life Learning Center allows us to share the story of modern ranchers and to show the challenges and opportunities that come with this business and lifestyle. I want to say thank you to the Ranch Life Learning Committee for all their work in making this day possible. The Ranch Life Committee was originally chaired by Don Cash. He and Kay dreamed of making the Ranch Life Learning Center. Clay and Ashley, thank you for carrying on their legacy. Thank you to the current chair, Betsy Bella, and all the rest of the members of the committee for all their hard work. It's going to pay off. I also want to thank Byron Kennedy and the team in the Texas Tech University Office of Advancement for their help in bringing the Cash Family Ranch Life Learning Center to life. Your help has been critical and made it possible for us to be here today. Lastly, I would like to thank every member of the Ranching Heritage Association, every supporter and donor who has come alongside to support this incredible facility with its enduring historical structures. We could not build new if we couldn't take care and maintain what we already have. Thank you to Clay and Ashley Cash for their gift naming the Cash Family Ranch Life Learning Center. Thank you to the Helen Jones Foundation and the CH Foundation for their continued support. And thank you to the donors who have contributed to this transformative project. Your generosity and vision for the future make this day possible. And if you're not a member of the Ranching Heritage Association, I want to personally invite you to join us. Your support will preserve history and enable education. That education is evidenced in part by the impact of the Ranch Life Learning Program and the future Cash Family Ranch Life Learning Center. From when we first started talking about building a Ranch Life exhibit, we have had partners who are excited for the impact it will have on the community. One of those is Joni Rodella, Lubbock ISD Coordinator for K-12 Social Studies and World Languages. And we'd like to play for you a video message from Joni sharing how the Cash Family Ranch Life Learning Center expands the incredible Ranch Life Learning impact. If y'all would please pay attention to the monitors. Do I need to push a button? I tore it up already. Yeah, that's normal.
My name is Joni Rodella, K-12 Social Studies and World Languages Coordinator for Lubbock ISD, and I would like to thank you for joining us in the celebration of today's groundbreaking event and congratulate the National Ranching Heritage Center on what I suspect will be one of the most popular exhibits in West Texas for children of all ages. 6 years ago, Julie Hodges approached me and inquired about how a book series on ranching might be suitable for fourth graders studying Texas history. I could not believe the wealth of information from just a singular resource. Just imagine literary nonfiction narrated by one of the world's most beloved characters of all time. As we poured through those manuscripts, we found so many amazing connections between what we were trying to do in the classroom and what only Hank the Cowdog could clearly articulate. From geographic concepts to the economics of business, Mr. Erickson captured the complexities of the ranching industry in a format that is so natural for our kids to enjoy and learn. Our journey with the Ranch Life Learning Series began with a book release and then events with Mr. Erickson, who just shared his stories and his songs with students. A few months later, Julie and Jason, Mark and Ashley and I sat around a table in my office with those manuscripts and the state standards just laid out in front of us, and we took a little time to dream out loud. What would a child need to see and play with three-dimensionally that they might not fully understand by simply reading? Topics such as, how big is an acre? Or what is a water table? Or why does a cow have a four-chambered stomach? Along with some of those larger ideas about land management, the economics of agriculture, ecosystems, and even the influence of geography on ranching operations were all discussed. Shortly thereafter, early sketches were drawn up for the Ranch Life Learning Center, and lesson plans were written to codify the classroom experience, along with Hank the Cowdog's expertise. And today's groundbreaking of the Cash Family Ranch Life Learning Center is certainly the capstone of this journey. The addition of the indoor-outdoor exhibit will enrich opportunities for our students and educators beyond anything that they currently have available in the region. So on behalf of Lubbock ISD and teachers from across Texas, thank you, Mr. Erickson, for sharing your talent, your imagination, and the timeless characters with children everywhere. Hank will continue to inspire many generations to come. Thank you to the numerous donors who generously put these books in the hands of thousands of students over the past 6 years and funded this incredible new exhibit. And a special thank you to Julie Hodges and the entire National Ranching Heritage Center board. You saw a vision, you knew how to assemble the right people. Thank you for your dedication to this project.
Jim Brad, I'm going to get out of here before I tear something else up.
It was all working really good till you got up here. At this time, I would like for all of our special guests to come forward and grab a set of post hole diggers. Clay, I'm sorry, I don't want to give you PTSD, but it's necessary right now. John, I know you hate post hole diggers, but we're going to ask you to make an exception this time. So if Jennifer Workman would come and help get everybody situated, we're going to ask everybody to go ahead and come up, Clay and Ashley. So our groundbreakers today are President Skuvenek, Bedford Jones, Billy Breedlove, John R. and Chris Erickson, Clay and Ashley Cash. The Helen Jones Foundation will be represented by Chrysler Cruz. The CH Foundation is going to be represented by Kimberly Wilkerson. Kimberly, thank you for being here and being part. Terry and Kelly Crowfoot came on board in the last month or so to help us out with the Ranch Life Learning Center, so thank you for all of your support and all you do. And then Betsy Bella representing the Ranch Life Committee. Well, thank you all. The Cash Family Ranch Life Learning Center featuring Hank the Cowdog opens new and exciting ways for Texas Tech University and the National Ranching Heritage Center to engage with students and reach out to our community. Today, we reach thousands of people. With the addition of this facility, I firmly believe we will reach hundreds of thousands of people. I want to personally thank Billy Breedlove and his team at Texas Tech System Facilities Planning and Construction. So Billy, Todd, Rick, all of your team, thank you for getting us here. I want to thank Grant Kurtner and Condre Design and all of the members of the design team. If you're a member of the design team, would you please stand and be recognized? I know several of them are here. Rusty Toma, Grant. Thank you for all the work. They took a personal passion. And so much of the design work we actually did during 2020, and we're meeting by Zoom and alternate methods, but I just appreciate their dedication to making this dream a reality. Jacob Strickland with Tyner Construction is here. Jacob tells me that we will have the Cash Family Ranch Life Learning Center completed by May 2023. So, Dr. Skuvenek, that's a pretty great addition to the Texas Tech University centennial year. One of our goals with this project was to build an endowment to support the Ranch Life Learning Center going forward. We have raised $9.3 million of a total $11 million goal. So if you want to come alongside us and get us to that endowment number, please come see me or Jennifer Workman after this. Thank you all for being here. Our donors are invited to lunch. If you have a lunch invitation, we will be back in the Pitchfork Pavilion. We do have refreshments, coffee, and everything else. Thank you so much for being here. I want to recognize Nathan Dahlstrom and Hutch Middle School for coming out. Kids, y'all wave. Thank you for being here. That's a huge part of why we're here. So, Nathan, thank you for being here and bringing your students. With that, you are dismissed, and thank you for all that you do for the National Ranching Heritage Center.